Welcome, boys and girls. Costin here with a discussion about Luthor Harkon, who is going to be part of Lords of the End Times in some capacity. He is in the trailer. He's very clearly going to be one of the Mortarchs, and he can definitely be one of the more interesting characters that Creative Assembly can mess around with in that particular DLC. Because there's a lot of different potential and possibilities with regards to Luthor Harkon. I mean, as he currently is, he's not especially great, and that's kind of the big point to mention with regards to Luthor Harkon. He could end up being so much better in his campaign if Creative Assembly were to fix the Vampire Coast. Because the Vampire Coast, when we consider the issues of the race, we look at a race of zombie, gunnery, pirates, right? And there's a whole lot of messed up things with regards to that are worth talking about. We can talk about the Pirate Cove system, we can talk about how their regional mechanics don't work, how their navigation of the seas leaves a lot of things to be desired. And all of that would end up being pretty damn true, I would dare say. Of course, the issue, if you will, is that when we are talking about these things with regards to a particular campaign, we have to take into consideration the things that Creative Assembly hasn't really done for them. And there's a lot of possibilities, there's a lot of potential in such a situation in order to improve things quite a bit. Like the fact that they all start with a tier 1 or, you know, higher tier regardless, but the fact that you have these kind of armies attached to them, these shipbuilding armies attached to them, does create a bit of a problem because you only have so many of these shipbuilding armies. You can get 5 of them in total and you cannot confederate any other one. It's also worth pointing out that from a lore perspective, Luthor Harkon was really the entire Vampire Coast. Aranessa, Silostra, and Noctilus, I mean, yes, Creative Assembly was very creative in designing this particular race in Warhammer 2 by using 2 characters that had been established in another Warhammer game, tabletop game, and then using that for the sake of creating a race, a vampire pirate race in Warhammer 2. And then they invented Silostra as well, which, based on what I've heard, or some of the things people have said over the years on the subject, they weren't particularly pleased about how they ended up handling some of those things. The idea of a vampire undead race, pirate race, is obviously a very cool one, undeniably so, but the execution of said race does leave a lot to be desired. And you can kind of see the problem zones, if you will, with regards to Luthor Harkon, because he definitely is at the center of it all. Like, for instance, the economy of the Vampire Coast is a mess of a situation. His skill line is kind of a mess of a situation. He cannot use magic, but he is obviously using magic in order to summon the undead. He has a faction that's supposed to be navigating the seas, and that's his main role in the lore, but then his campaign objectives require him to spend a significant amount of time in Lustria. Because you need to get the Jungle of Webs, in order to get, you need to get a certain number of settlements, and you need to keep control of the Awakening in order to get to tier 5 and get the Ancient Vault. Restoring his mind is a process in a campaign, and maybe that process needs to work out differently. Maybe Luthor Harkon, above all others, should stop wasting his time in Lustria. It's kind of interesting when you think about the trailer of Luthor Harkon, because what it's kind of showing him there is him kind of like waking up, realizing, yeah, what have I been doing in Lustria all this time? Let's go sail the 7 seas and do various things around the world, because that's what he is meant to. And maybe that's exactly what Creative Assembly is going to do with him. Whether or not that includes a full racial rework is unclear, because, again, Creative Assembly has not given us any kind of details with regards to the Lords of the End Times since December. And even then, they didn't really give us a lot. It would sure be nice if those details started coming out in the public. I mean, they did a live stream on Luthor Harkon, so I'm guessing they're looking to start their marketing with regards to certain things right now. Maybe they will be... they will start releasing more info. It would definitely be nice after the drought we have endured as content creators on YouTube for the last couple of months, because it has been difficult for us to tackle all of these things. I mean, you can't just leave creators in dirt for months and months on end when a lot of people are just kind of not interested in the game, and then, oh, yeah, totally, people will cover it. I mean, creators are in this kind of situation. We all are. Yeah, I mean, we've all been in a difficult time period right now where things have just not worked out very well for us for the last year and a half, really, at this point. Like, it's been that kind of a long period. Some of us have endured, but enduring a drought of content, and it's not just an issue of Total War Warhammer, by the way, it's also an issue generally in gaming right now. Like, a lot of delays have happened, a lot of things have happened, a lot of issues have stacked up that have ended up hurting us quite a bit as creators overall. And yes, you know, you can say it's EA's fault, but it's just in general the impact of various bad decisions across the gaming industry that have ended up hurting content creators the most. And speaking about that, and I'll make a YouTube post on this, you know, right now, I'm really at the end of my rope, honestly. Like, I'm really personally at the end of my rope. Hopefully things do develop in the right direction going forward, but it sure would be nice if things had worked out differently, because it's never a fun situation to end up with dealing with this, especially because what's coming in May or April for a lot of creators is taxes. So we might have survived financially, but then we have taxes to pay, and you can imagine how a lot of us have been struggling with that. You know, money that has been put aside has been spent because we had nothing to cover, and so you can imagine how a lot of creators are in that kind of situation, because bad decisions compounding, hurting everyone, including Creative Assembly, I would add. So I'll leave you with this particular message at the end of this video. Yeah, I could use some help, really, just because of the tax situation. I could use some help if you're willing to offer it. Even just a couple of dollars would go some way towards helping things. I have other options, but it's never fucking fun to use other options, really, in that respect. It's also never good to go to family members and ask for help because things unfolded in a way you didn't predict. Like, no one can tell me with a straight face that waiting a fucking year for a DLC like Tides of Torment, and then Tides of Torment not really delivering, and then waiting for months after that, and then the entire gaming landscape going on. Like, I've seen a lot of things on YouTube over the years, like a huge number of things. I have never seen in 16 years that I've done YouTube something like this year across the entire gaming landscape or across the entire digital landscape. So if you're willing to help, please do so. Costin here, signing out.